The Fragments of Papias are ancient Christian texts written by or about Papias, the Bishop of Hierapolis in modern Turkey. Some of the fragments contain intriguing statements about the apostles, the origins of the Gospels, and the millennium. In this video, you'll learn about the fragments' context, reliability, and content. You can also read the fragments for yourself at saintsandstuff.com. Papias lived from about 60 to 150 AD. Irenaeus says Papias was a companion of Polycarp and a hearer of John. Tradition says he was the bishop of the Church of Hierapolis. The Church of Hierapolis existed during Paul's lifetime. Colossians 4:13 may indicate that Paul's associates founded the church. Hierapolis was known for its hot springs, and travelers were drawn to them because of their perceived healing properties. When Christians traveled to Hierapolis, Papias would ask them for any information they had about Jesus and the apostles. And Papias used this information to write a work that's now lost. It was called the Exposition of the Sayings of the Lord, and now it only survives in the fragments that we're talking about today. Scholars disagree on the fragments' historical reliability and interpretation. For example, when Papias refers to the origins of the Gospel of Matthew, is he referring to the same text that's in your New Testament or something entirely different? Also, if you're familiar with the synoptic problem and the Q-source hypothesis, then you might be interested to know that there's also been debate about if Papias recorded sayings that Luke used in conjunction with Q. Various scholars have assembled collections of fragments of Papias. The number of fragments varies depending on the sources and criteria used. Most collections, though, include quotes from Papias and also statements written about Papias by other ancient writers. For this video, we're going to focus not on explaining the meaning of the texts, but introducing you to as many of the fragments as possible. Let's begin with a fragment where Papias describes his method for collecting information. This fragment also indicates that Papias didn't personally witness the apostles. Papias does not declare that he himself was a hearer and an eyewitness of the apostles, but he received the matters of the faith from those who were their friends. On any occasion when a person came in my way who had been a follower of the elders, I would inquire about the discourses of the elders. What was said by Andrew, or by Peter, or by Philip, or by Thomas, or James, or by John, or Matthew, or any other of the Lord's disciples, and what Aristion and the elder John, the disciples of the Lord, say. For I did not think that I could get so much profit from the contents of books as from the utterances of a living and abiding voice. The fragments of Papias also contain the following non-canonical saying attributed to Jesus. The days will come in which vines shall grow, each having 10,000 shoots, and on each shoot 10,000 branches, and on each branch again 10,000 twigs, and on each twig 10,000 clusters, and on each cluster 10,000 grapes. And each grape, when pressed, shall yield 25 measures of wine. And when any of the saints shall have taken hold of one of their clusters, another shall cry, I am a better cluster. Take me, bless the Lord through me. Likewise also, a grain of wheat shall produce 10,000 heads, and every head shall have 10,000 grains, and every grain 10 pounds of fine flour, bright and clean. And the other fruits, seeds, and the grass shall produce in similar proportions. And all the animals using these fruits, which are products of the soil, shall become in their turn peaceable and harmonious, obedient to man in all subjection. This saying, with its focus on quantities of 10,000, is also interesting. It appears to relate to millennialism. In the next fragment, we will see that Eusebius claims Papias believed in millennialism. Millennialism held that there would be a period where Christ would reign on earth. For Papias, this was a period of 10,000 years. As we will see, Eusebius clearly disagreed. The same writer has recorded other notices as having come down to him from oral tradition, certain strange parables of the Savior, and teachings of his, and some other statements of a rather mythical character, among which he says that there will be a period of some 10,000 years after the resurrection, and that the kingdom of Christ will be set up in material form on this earth. These ideas I suppose he got through a misunderstanding of the apostolic accounts, not perceiving that the things recorded there in figures were spoken by them mystically, for he evidently was a man of very little intelligence. Another of the fragments says that Judas Iscariot was not killed by his hanging. Instead, Judas was cut down and then lived a miserable life, swollen and oozing pus. It's rather gruesome. For students of the Gospels, some of the most relevant fragments are probably those that speak about the authorship of the Gospels. Here's one particularly important example. Mark, having become the interpreter of Peter, wrote down accurately everything that he remembered, without, however, recording in order what was either said or done by Christ. For neither did he hear the Lord, nor did he follow him, but afterwards, as I said, attended Peter, who adapted his instructions to the needs of his hearers, but had no design of giving a connected account of the Lord's oracles. So then Mark made no mistake, while he thus wrote down some things as he remembered them. For he made it his one care not to omit anything that he heard or to set down any false statement therein. Such then is the account given by Papias concerning Mark. But concerning Matthew, the following statement is made by him. So then Matthew composed the oracles in the Hebrew language, and each one interpreted them as he could. The same writer employed testimonies from the first epistle of John and likewise from that of Peter, and he has related another story about a woman accused of many sins before the Lord, which the Gospel according to the Hebrews contains. From this sample, you've seen that the Fragments of Papias make intriguing remarks about the millennium, the apostles, and the origins of the Gospels. Are these clues to understanding mysteries surrounding the early church, or are they merely a red herring? Until this is answered, these statements are too important to ignore. I'm Kevin Hill, and this has been Saints and Stuff. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope you found this video helpful. If you'd like to connect with us, we'd love to hear from you. You can leave a comment on our YouTube channel, or connect with us using social media or our website, www.saintsandstuff.com.